Hi guys, I'm over here in Bixby's in my chair freaking out. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back. You want to know what I'm doing? I am moving my wife's bag off the table. My wife is upstairs asleep. We have my keys, her bag. And whatever else on the table that we have. So, this is not what I had on today, but I had to switch and put the shirt on because I ended up having to go into work. I'll tell you what happened in a second. Let me get Bixby to switch seats with me. Help. She just switched seats. She just jumped over that seat. As soon as I said that. This child knows too much. She's too smart. She literally just jumped in that seat. Smell, receipts. Receipts. 1 second. So I had this dress on today, and I had to put this top. This top was in my car, and I had to put this over the dress because there's way too much cleavage on this dress. I had this morning, I had texted my part-time job supervisor just to let her know that I'm still off from my full-time job. I took off Wednesday for the funeral and took off today and took off again Friday. So I had taken off. That's strong. That's so strong. I had took off for the funeral, and so I texted them my part-time job which is only 2 days a week I work there, that I would need to take off again today because I was still dealing with my stuff with my brother. Again, so he didn't have a will, so we have to kind of. We were trying to take care of everything so his kids would not take care of anything and they can just benefit from his resources. But today just blew up in our face. So one, I started at the beginning. So I messaged my supervisor, hey, I really am not emotionally strong enough to come to work. I cry like 6-7 times an hour. And then I still have stuff that I'm doing for my brother. We're still working on stuff. Hey, Bixby, and thank you for switching chairs like that just because I said switch chair. Thank you. Thank you. So, oh, sorry, baby. Where'd you get it from? I know. So, I called her and I said, this is leftover meatballs and seafood spaghetti that I had at a restaurant. Oh, these meatballs are kind of not cooked all the way in the middle. But the sauce they cook it in is really good. It's still, yeah, it's still pink. I don't know if you can see that. These meatballs still all look pink. So I called her and left a message. She, about 3.5 hours later, she got back with me and said, because I was a part-time employee and I took off the previous week 2 days, and I only worked 2 days a week. Makes me hair went everywhere. I only work 2 days a week. Since I took off 2 days the previous week, she would have to write me up. And I said, write me up for what? I said, write me up for what? I mean, the previous week, my brother was in the hospital dying. There was just no way around this. Well, no. I am not going to choose support my brother's life and supporting him over working. So if you want to fire me, you just go ahead and fire me. But just, well, I let you be off those 2 other days. It was actually 3 days, but they had me signed up for a day that I don't remember signing up for, but they swore up and down that I signed up for it. So I said, okay. She said, well, I let you be off those 2 days the previous week. Thank you. My brother was dying. When your father was dying, or was after he was already deceased, you ran out of state and was gone for 2 weeks. Well, you're just part-time and you don't have any leave time, so I can't keep authorizing you to have time off. Okay, I see that. But when I was picking up extra time and saving on butts and fixing on the 6 mirrors and working when others were not working and seeing doing overnights and doing doubles for you, that wasn't good enough. I'm only supposed to be doing 2 days a week, but I do. Sometimes I do 3, sometimes I do 4, sometimes I do a full-time schedule. But that's not good enough. Because I asked you to support me when I'm in crisis and I'm having an emergency. You have to be mindful of policies and procedures. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm thankful that nobody fought with me when I had to call off those shifts, because I really did have to call off those 2 shifts. The first shift, my brother was only in the hospital for 1 day, and he was struggling. The doctors didn't even have his medical records. I was flying all over the place trying to get his medical records for the doctors. Yeah, I see why I had to put a cover-up shirt on. See, it comes in the note. This is why I had to put a cover-up shirt on. And when I stand up and pull it down, you can see the belt, but I don't care about doing that. It's 11 o'clock at night. So I had to call off that day because I was in the hospital. And I was being stretched thin. I was working my full-time job from the hospital, responding to emails, responding to calls, setting things up, doing everything from the hospital. And when I wasn't at the hospital, I did it from the main office. So I was running back and forth between the hospital and in the office. The sauce is really good. And then the other day, we had just found out that he was, it was the day before we found out that he was brain dead. And the next day, we spent talking with family. I mean, the entire next day, we had to tell his kids. After we told his kids, my sisters had to tell her kids. Then we had to tell our extended family. And then we had to set things up for him. We had to sit with him, pray with him. That is non-negotiable. He was passing away. We couldn't leave his side. He was leaving this earth. He wasn't going on vacation. He wasn't going on vacation. He wasn't going in for routine tests or surgeries. He was dying. And I'm not going to cry. I can't cry. I don't even know how my body has so many tears. I have no clue why my body has so many tears. And I'm a devoted Muslim. And I'm a faithful Muslim. I have so much faith in Allah's will and His grace, and I'm still crying because I'm still in pain and I'm mourning. So that day, I said, I need to call off. I have no choice. And again, I'm giving her 6-7 hours of notice. Now keep in mind, everybody else has been calling off left and right. I walk in, I think I'm going to have one site with me. I have 2 sites with me because people calling off shifts. So I'm now calling off because my brother is dying. And her response to me is, I let you sit with your brother while he died. You didn't let me do anything. If you would have terminated me, I still would have sent my brother while he was dying. If you would have tried to talk disrespectful to me, I would have hung up on him and disengaged the conversation and still sat with my brother while he was dying. You didn't let me do a damn thing. Allah, my God, most merciful, most gracious, most merciful, most gracious, my God, set the will for us to be up there with Him, not you. She didn't set no will for me to do anything. That was my God's grace and mercy. And I appreciate her not trying to fire me or write me up for it. But this BS of you're part-time and you're not allowed to call off, this BS has got to stop. Part-time or not, you have emergencies. You deserve time off. You can't work around the clock. So part-time or not, you deserve to be off. And this whole, so if I drop dead from a heart attack, they don't fire me for missing work? It don't make no sense. Now don't get me wrong, they have been very flexible with me. And I am grateful for that. I've had emergencies where my full-time job, it doesn't happen often, I can count it on one hand, maybe 2 or 3 times my full-time job has interfered with my part-time job, where I had to go work there instead of my part-time. But I've always been able to find somebody to switch shift with me and move it around. But I didn't have it in me. I didn't have it. It wasn't in my soul to do. When they called me that weekend and was upset and she's like, oh, you're on the schedule for 8 to 3. I'm like, no, I'm not. I didn't sign up for anything. That's not my scheduled shift. Well, your name is written down. And I'm thinking, well, y'all must have just added me to the schedule because they have done that many of times before. They've done that many of times. But I never signed up for it. I was never on the schedule. I'm on the phone hysterically crying. Saying, I don't know why you waited an hour to call me. I don't know why you can't pass me in. So why would you wait an hour to call me? And I don't know this, I don't know that. I called the supervisor on call, told them what was going on. That I had just sat with my brother and took him off life support. And y'all have to understand, we were still, even though we had taken my brother off life support and we had sat with him and prayed with him until the funeral home came and picked his body up, even though we did that part, the wheels were still moving. We had Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 4 days to plan an entire funeral, a visitation, a funeral, a repast, 4 days. And my brother had over 100 people attend the visitation. I'm sorry, over 60 people attend the visitation and over 100 people attend the funeral. And thank God his best friend in life took over the part of the menu part of it, because we were struggling with that, finding a caterer that was going to do it. And what he did, it was marvelous and amazing. So I'm doing all of this. I'm moving mountains to make sure my brother's kids have the resources they need and make sure they have what they need and having their back and supporting them while I'm getting disrespect. One of his kids threatened me because I wouldn't do something he wanted me to do that my brother asked us not to do. I'm not going to validate my. Just because my brother passed away doesn't mean his statements and words go away. They're still here. I'm going to honor him and honor his wishes, because when I die, I want those around me, my loved ones, to honor what I put in place. Because there's a reason for everything that we do. With all that going on, and his ex being, I tried. I was so kind. I tried. I was so kind to her. But today was the final straw. What she pulled today was too much. There was no way. I went in the other day, and I worked there the other day. Because I felt the obligation to do it. I didn't want to do it, but I felt the obligation to do it. So me asking first day, there's no reason to threaten me. There really wasn't. There's no reason to tell me, oh, it's not a big deal if you get written up. It's not a big deal. Don't set me up for failure. Don't do that. Those things are a big deal. They're a big deal to me because I don't get written up. And you make it seem like I'm a bad employee, like I'm a bad person, like I'm not a team player, which is far from the truth. Bixby, would you cut it? You don't need all those loves. Why do you need all that love? You want a little shrimp? That is far from the truth. What is this? Oh, this is fish. I don't even think you'll eat fish. Do you want to try some meatloaf? I mean, some meatballs? I don't know about this, honey. It's mixed with sausage. You may not like it because you don't eat sausage. Can I finish talking? Maybe she does like it. So today it broke my heart at work. It hurt me. I know I'm not supposed to be emotional at work. I know at work I'm not supposed to be in my feelings, but when you tell me that you let me be by my brother's side, you let me do it, are you insane? That's offensive. That's offensive to say. That's offensive. So, well, I can drop dead tomorrow. They wouldn't give a shit. They wouldn't care if I dropped dead tomorrow. And we're not even done. The BS that we went through today with his ex was ridiculous. I gave her so much kindness and so much respect. She had no reason to. We know her nature. We know her nature. But we were hoping that she grew beyond that nature. We were just hoping that she had grown out of that behavior. But she hasn't. She's still the same. And that's okay. Like I told you today, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to hire an attorney. I am not going to find a way to spend my money to get an attorney to help them get my brother's stuff through probate. I'm not going to do it because everything that we've done, they have slapped us in the face, argued with us, threatened us. That's not, let me take that back. That's not true. Let me take that back. His daughter has been super kind and super generous, and his older son has been super kind and super generous. And I mean generous with emotions and feelings. They haven't, and they've said thank you. But it's been a shit show. But my brother was able to be buried. He's ever been laid to rest. And today was what it was. I know how I feel about that job. I know how I feel about her. And she showed me who she was a year ago. This ain't new. This is her. This is not new. She's not an ethical person. She's not a kind person. She's not a considerate person. So, I'm not surprised. And it is what it is. This could have been more Malibu. I put like this much pineapple juice in it, but it tastes like it's a whole, because it's not like pineapple stuff. Pineapple juice, it tastes like it's a lot, but it's not like that's a problem. So this is videos all over the place. And biscuit love. I fed her and she ran away. Bubba's in the window watching me. Mandy's upstairs sleeping. And she has a horrible cough and it's scaring the hell out of me right now. She gets COVID tested at work. But I truly believe that her immune system is low because of the amount of stress that we both been under. Her body's been under a lot of strain and stress with her working a lot of doubles. And the stress of holding her over on shifts and not letting her go home to take care of herself, take medications. It's too much for her body. And I'm praying what she has is just a cold. I'm praying it's not pneumonia, not the flu, and not COVID. I'm praying it's just a cold. I'll sleep down here tonight because she needs to sleep. And then just make sure she wakes me up in the morning because I want to see how that cough is in the morning. And I want her to take her temperature. I don't know. No. There are many things that we have to be grateful for. And I'm so grateful. Allah got us through the funeral. Allah got us through that funeral. And his funeral was beautiful. It was beautiful. It came together beautifully. I made collages on my phone and I sent them to my wife. My wife printed them out. And Mandy made, and I told her I wanted some boards with the collages on there. And she put together the boards for me, and then she put all the other pictures in picture frames. So we had all these picture frames all around the room. We had this military picture that was like this small. It's this small, y'all. This small. And Manny coordinated getting it blown up, and it got blown up this big. It's huge. And it was put on an easel next to his coffin. He had the flag over his coffin. He had military, what's it called? Military merit or military? When you're buried with the flag and you get the gun salutes and you get the horns. I don't remember what it's called, but my mom solidified him getting that, and that was a battle. But she pulled it off. She put it off for 2 days. 2 days. My brother saved 10 years in the military. He served 10. He went to, I think, war like maybe twice. And then he went to the reserves. And then, but like I said, I think it's about 10 or 15. I think it's 10 years. It could have been 15, but I think it was 10 years. So don't quote me on it. And there were some technicalities. He couldn't be buried at Jefferson Barracks because a few technicalities. But military honors, he got buried with military honors. And it was beautiful. And the gunfire didn't start on me. What, baby? Makes me what? She's been freaking out since they cleaned. Housekeepers came and cleaned the other day, which means there's no food on the floor. So now she's like sniffing around the floor trying to find food, and there's no food. Because when I eat, sometimes it hits my cleavage and it just hit my cleavage and it just hits the floor sometimes with me. And so she's on the floor over here tripping, running up and down my legs, trying to look and sniff food out. So grateful that Mandy got the housekeepers in the other day, because our house was a wreck. And it wasn't a wreck like trash or nothing like that. It was a lot of cat hair and a lot of dust and some pockets of clutter here and there. So back to the funeral. It was a beautiful funeral. His best friend had him cater. When we went to the grave site, and he got the military honor. He got the military honors there. The military was there saluting. They did the gunfire. They did the flag, and they folded the flag and handed my mom the flag, and his oldest son stood behind my mom, and it was beautiful. I'm not gonna cry, because it was extremely beautiful, and it was extremely important. It was an important moment. So, why do I keep pulling my hair like that? I'm gonna end up pulling it out. It's not my hair, yeah, I know. My sister put braids in my hair, because my hair was matted up and knotted up, because I washed my hair and didn't do anything with it, which means it got all these knots in it. When my brother went into the hospital, and I just shut down. I didn't do anything to myself, including when I washed my hair, I didn't comb it out and didn't roll it. And it just took a couple days before everything got knotted up. So my sister had to moisturize it, put conditioner in it, and literally I just sit on the floor while she combed out my hair and combed the knots out, and then braided my hair for me. My hair was locked. It was locked up. It was locked and matted. It was horrible. So after that, we left the burial site, and his sons have lowered him in the grave, then we all sprinkled dirt over his coffin. Then the imam did another prayer. The imam did a prayer at the funeral home and did another prayer, not the funeral home, during the funeral, they did another prayer somewhere else. And then we went back to where we were at for the funeral, and we had the repast. The repast was lovely. There was a few problems in the repast. There was no alcohol allowed there, and somebody did bring in alcohol. And me and my sister had to walk around the building and find out who had alcohol and get them escorted out, so that they didn't shut down the repast. I tried to ask my mom for alcohol for people who want my son, but my mom wouldn't go for it. And I can respect that. I really can. But she was very abusive towards me when I asked for it. And then I had to redirect that. So the repast was beautiful. Everybody walked around, looked at the pictures, talked. At the end of the repast, I gave out majority of the pictures that we had on the tabletops that we had printed out and put in frames. The idea was for at the end of the funeral to give it to people, and people chose their favorite picture of him, whether it was with them or them from the past, or them from the present, or just of him. So they got those pictures that they loved the most about him. I complimented my half sister. My dad had two other kids. I didn't truly believe everything I complimented her with, but I felt like I needed to compliment her because she decided to get up and speak at my brother's funeral. And it was what it was. But afterwards, I complimented her, which I wish I had not. Because 15 minutes later, she insulted the fuck out of me. I'm sitting there, and she walks up to me. I had a strange relationship with my dad. It's a very strange relationship. My dad was not in my life for a majority of my life. My mom left him when I was just 1 year old. I was just 1 year old when he left him. My brother finally found him, maybe when he was in his 20s. I reconnected him with him when I was like 18, 19 in college. That reconnection did not go very well, and we fell out again. We fell out. We just kind of like fell apart. It didn't connect. I was 18, 19 years old. I was coming from a place of not knowing anything. And then we reconnected again in my late 30s, 40s. And then we just connected again. And this time it had to do with my sister and has to do with me. We were on the phone talking, and he said something that I was just making a lot of excuses and blaming my mom for a lot of things and saying it was my mom's fault that he wasn't in my life. It was my mom's fault that this. I said, no, you're an adult. When you reconnected with me when I was 18, you could have reached out to me then, but you didn't. And then, I don't know, he started just giving me these long stories about, and he's like, I did do things to your mom that I shouldn't have done, but, you know, she also did things to me she shouldn't have done. And at that point, I was angry. I was like, that's not a part of the conversation we need to be having. And then he started telling some things that were not true, and I knew they weren't true, which pissed me off, because if you lied to me, I won't deal with you if you lie to me. I don't care who you are. And I regretted that, because later down, a few years later, he got very, very ill. And the last time when I reconnected with him, he was in the hospital. And so I immediately went to the hospital. I immediately went to him. And I wanted that fatherly conversation, a fatherly relationship with him, but he was extremely ill. So instead, I had a caretaking relationship with him. I was helping him eat. I was feeding him. I was talking with him. I was sitting with him. And I sat with him until he had surgery. His foot leg got cut off. He had diabetes, and he was having some serious complications with the diabetes and with the blood disease he has, which was a lot of blood clotting in him. And I sat through the surgeries, and I sat through the illnesses, and I sat in the hospital with him. I talked with him. I prayed with him. And then his last surgery didn't go very well, and he ended up being put on life support, and he didn't make it. They ended up having to take him off of life support, and he passed away. It haunts my life. That's a regret that I have in my life, not having a relationship with my father that I wanted with him, but I had a relationship with him. And it's nobody's place to judge it or to discuss it or talk about it. When my father passed away, I grieved for him deeply. Deeply. I remember one time I was in the shower, and maybe it was about 3 or 4 days after he passed away. I was in the shower, and I just started hysterically screaming and crying so loud and screaming that I love you, and I'm so sorry that I love you, and I let so much time go by, and I'm so sorry I love you. And I didn't mean to judge your choices that you made in your life, and I should have loved you when you were here. And the pain that I felt was real, and it was intense, and it was my pain. But I still loved my father. So at my brother's funeral, his other daughter, with a different wife, who was an interesting creature. She's interesting. And I have to say she's interesting because I don't really know her and I don't know. But my brother loved her, so I have to assume she's a good people if my brother loved her. My brother was a good judge of character. But I don't really know her. Her daughter walks up to me and says something about her mother, and I made a comment. And then I thanked her for giving a speech at my brother's funeral and setting up. Her speech did offend my mother and it did hurt her, and I could see it in my mother's face. Because she didn't identify herself in Yusuf's life correctly. She misled her relationship. Like she had been with him her whole life, like she was born and raised with him, which is not true. So, but I excused that and I let that go because I really thought what she said was, I thought what she said was nice and it was considerate and truthful about my brother. And after I give her a compliment, she turns around and insults the hell out of me. She tells me no matter what I thought of my dad, that he loved me. He used to say that, he loved Yusuf and Naima and the other one too. That's not her place to comment. That's not her place to bring up my relationship with my father. That she has no right to do that. Whatever relationship she had with him was her relationship. But she had no right to comment on my relationship with him or how I felt about him, because she has no clue how I felt about him. I still cry for my father. I still mourn him. And she had no place to do that. And then to do it at my brother's funeral. At my brother's funeral. The young man that I grew up with my entire life. My brother and I have never, ever been separated. Since I was a child, he has been in my life and I've been in his life. Since I was a child, it's always been him, my sister, my mother, and me. Always. It's just been us three. And then, when I say us three, I'm talking about my sister, my brother, and myself. It's always been us against the world. Always. And for her to do that, and at my brother's funeral, just try to slap me in my face, there wasn't a time for that shit. And it was unwarranted. It was unwarranted. There was no reason. There was no reason. I've never done anything to this woman. I have been kind and considerate, and that is it. But I've never done anything to her. Between her and that other, oh Lord, that other person, this funeral was a trial. The pain she caused me that day was ridiculous. But you hurt me once, you won't get an opportunity again. I'm done with you. And there is nothing that you can do to bring me back in. Nothing. My relationship with my father has nothing to do with anybody but me and my father. That's it. Nothing. Nothing to do with anybody but my father and myself. He may have been your biological father, and you may have been raised with him, but it is not your place to judge, comment, or attempt to make me feel ill about my feelings towards my own father. And like I told her, I said, this conversation is not appropriate, and I love my father, and that's all that mattered. I loved him. Nothing else matters. So this conversation is not happening. don't know how much longer I have on this earth, but I know I'm not going to spend the people that hurt me. My chest hurts so bad. My cardiologist can't get me in until the end of July. I'm going to call the nurse practitioner in the morning so she can be in the hospital. My chest hurts so bad. And I was already told if I have a heart attack because of my weight, because I weigh 500 pounds, they would just watch me die. So there's nothing they would do to save my life. The amount of stress that I'm under is tremendous. We're getting through, and we're going to make it work. And my brother is buried. That's the most important thing. No matter what, not all, some of his kids did, and what his ex did, no matter what they did. And no matter how mad they tried to sabotage it, he's buried. And that's all that matters. We're going to do what we can to help my brother. He still had accounts that he was paying on. We're going to let them repossess those accounts, because they're still going to try to take their money. And he's dead and gone, and there is no money going into that account. So the least we can do is preserve as many of his accounts as we can without letting collectors liquidate it. Because the more money that stays in his accounts, the more money is going to go to his kids. But I will not hire an attorney to help them with this process. This is on them. And what she pulled today was inexcusable. It was inexcusable. To accuse me of not assisting her children in getting things from their father, is disgusting. It is disgusting. We have given them everything. We gave them the freaking house. We told them we wanted nothing from it. Everything else was kids. And that's not enough? That's not enough. We spent our own money to bury my brother. We all took money out of our accounts. We all, just came up with money that we didn't have to bury him. Asked nothing of them. These are adults. They should have buried their father. And they accused me, and they accused my sister of trying to keep something from them. Are you serious? We bent over backwards for him. We bent over backwards for him. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't do anything any different. I really wouldn't do anything different, because it benefited my brother. It helped him get to a resting place. If they would have done it, he would have never got to a resting place. He would have never been buried. And he sure in hell would not have been buried in his religion like he wanted to be. He wouldn't have been. So, oh well. But I wouldn't do anything different. I don't regret anything I did, because it was for them, and they benefited from it. They benefited from it, but my brother benefited more than him, because it was his life that we had to rest. We had to lay to rest, and I wouldn't do it. I would do the same thing that I did. I really would. I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change a thing. I'm gonna get my mom and sister to get on that page tomorrow. Yes, her behavior is disgusting, and yes, her behavior is unwarranted, and yes, her behavior is offensive. But I wouldn't change a thing, and I know they wouldn't change a thing either. I'm confident they wouldn't change a thing either. So, yeah, I have always dropped food down in my dresses. This dress belonged to my auntie. My auntie passed away. I don't know how long ago, but I think it's been like maybe 4 years. And so a lot of my big girl dresses came from her. Because, you know, when I put all the weight back on, I didn't have any clothes. And so my wife went to the store, and, you know, Mandy went to the store and bought me clothes, shirts, and pants and stuff. And my Aunt Cindy, when she passed away, I got a lot of her clothes too. And so a lot of the dresses I fit into were from her. And thank God for them. Because the funeral dress that I wore was Aunt Cindy's funeral dress. Was Aunt Cindy's dress, but I don't know where my other black dress is. It disappeared out of my closet. Yeah, my closet is a mess. I need to clean my closet and then do a closet tour. Well, not a closet tour, but I need to clean my closet. So y'all can see what it looks like dirty and then see what it looks like clean. My closet needs to be clean. It's a mess. I'm done with this. I ate the rest of the pasta and I still have. It was only 2 meatballs, but I was able to cut them in slices because they were big meatballs. And it was only like a fourth of noodles with shrimp and crab, imitation crab meat. I'm tired. It's time for these to come down. They need to come down. They need to come down. They're falling apart anyway. They're breaking down and falling apart. They broke down and falling apart the second day of the night they were in. So, I need to cut them out. Wash my hair. Cut them out and wash my hair. Bixby went nuts over this food. These are the leftovers. Those are leftovers that I gotta take this to my nephew tomorrow. I forgot to bring that and the watch, my brother's watch, to the funeral. It took me, I was late getting out the house for the day of my brother's funeral. Mandy made breakfast for us, and I was doing a lot of crying. You know, I was stressed out, and so by the time I got out the house, it was 20, 30 minutes late. So I completely forgot to bring the watch, and I completely forgot to bring the watch and the earbuds. You know, I just sat here and thought about, I'm done being hurt. I'm done with people allowing people to hurt me. I'm done with it. Because the last 4 or 5 days, every sentence was, it hurt me. They hurt me. It hurt me. I'm done with that shit. I'm tired. Fuck you. If you can't do right by me, don't fucking even talk to me. Don't say nothing to me. I mean, my days on this earth is fucking limited. I'm running out of days. And I don't have time for fucking BS. I don't have time for evil people or hurtful people. I don't. Lord, if my sentence begins with you hurt me, that's your cue, bitch. Get out of my life. And don't come back. And that's my cue. Cut you out of my life. And don't look back. I'm good. I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. Those two females, I'm done with them. But I already knew I was done with them. I knew I was done with them. The minute they did the ignorant crap, I knew I was done. I can't deal with stupidity. I really just can't. And especially stupidity for no reason but to be stupid. That makes no sense to me. That was good. I think the Malibu was better than the leftovers. But the little demon cat one demon cat just got in the window. Bixby, I don't know where she's at. This morning when I was in the bed, Bixby crawled in the bed behind me, and I didn't know she was behind me, and I rolled backwards, and I felt some fur on my arm. I was like, oh shit. And she's like, nee, nee, nee. I was like, I didn't tell you to lay behind me. You underneath me. You know you're not supposed to be in the bed with me. You lay with your mama, not with me. And don't be whining with me. I can't do nothing about it. I can't do nothing about it. If she decides to get in behind me, and I don't know if she does, and I roll over on her, girl, you better learn how to jump and roll and get out of the way. I can't control that. So I rolled back the other way, and I told her I was sorry, and I rubbed her. And then she wanted to kiss, and then she nuzzled underneath my lip right there. She just nuzzled underneath here and was like, Mommy. Now you are so spoiled. She's so spoiled. So I rolled over and I let her lay against me and I kind of rubbed her a little bit. And she just fell back asleep. She's a huge baby, y'all. She's a baby. She acts like a baby. I should take a picture in that black dress. That black dress was cute. It was short though. It came above my knees. It was short. I looked cute in it, but it was short. I like this dress because it comes down below my knees. And it's comfortable. It feels soft and smooth. And no, I don't have a bra on. And that's another reason why I put a shirt over me, because I don't have a bra on. But it does have a liner on the inside of it. See, there's a liner right there. It does have a liner on the inside of it. So you can't, like, there's nothing popping out because there's a liner right there. Oh yeah, I know I don't like bras, so don't act like you're surprised I don't have a bra on, please. And I know I don't like them. So I am going to get ready to go to bed. I gotta lift them up. I'm getting ready to go to bed. I'm tired. I don't know why I'm touching myself because this is kicking in, y'all. I am getting ready to go to bed. I'm tired. I'm tired. Getting ready to go to sleep. And I think I just had one shot. I didn't have like 2 shots. Let's go back underneath here. I kind of like the belt underneath here because it gives me more support. So, but I did have 2 shots. I had just 1 shot. That was a nice, generous shot though. Alright. Deuces. You guys have a great night and take care. And I probably won't even post this video because I don't even understand half the shit I said in this video. I was all over the damn place. And I was all over the damn place because 1, that, and then 2, I haven't had a clear thought in the last week and a half since they told me Yusuf had a heart attack. Well, actually, before Yusuf had a heart attack, I had very sporadic thoughts and not clear thoughts and very forgetfulness lately. I've forgotten everything. Alright, I'm gonna say goodnight. Where's Bixby at? Bixby, you wanna say goodnight with mommy? Bixby! I don't think she wants to say goodnight. Now I'm stalling because I'm too tired to get up. Alright, get up, I'll walk over to you, turn you off, and then walk over to the couch, pick up my dress, and go to sleep on the couch. And then set my alarm to wake me up at 4:30. Because my wife should probably be up between 4:30 and 5. So I like to wake up before her so that I can spend a little time with her. So, I don't know. Nobody watches these videos. I don't even know why I'm talking to you guys. Maybe if I strip naked, I'll get some viewers. Nah, I wouldn't get viewers. But I'm not gonna lie to you, that doesn't bother me. I've been naked on the internet before. It doesn't bother me. I'm very comfortable with my body. I'm extremely comfortable. No matter what size I'm at. When I was at 300 pounds, I was comfortable. When I was at 200 pounds, I never made it down to 200. But when I first lost weight, the first time I did make it down to 310. You have to say I'm 5'11", so my 310 is different than a 310 and 5 and 2 inches. It's a lot different at 5'11". Everybody always says, "You're 500 pounds?" Like, yep. But I'm 5'11". I have height. But I look 500 pounds when I look in the mirror, I see it. And right now I see it. It's definitely 500 pounds. But I am 5'11". Alright, let me stop stalling. Oh, this is ring Mandy got me. She's gonna replace another. One of my rings are missing and she's gonna replace it. I'm praying nobody took it out of this house. So now all my other rings, my jewelry's locked up, so no one can get to it. Alright, I'm getting up. Yep, I definitely look 500 pounds. Definitely. I clearly look 500 pounds. Hell, I look 600 pounds. You can see it all the rows. Definitely look 6. Definitely look 500 pounds.